So I want to bring this thing from the international realm to stateside here, but in a way, this story is related. So, before the Charlie Kirk assassination on Wednesday, the big, I feel like, right wing divisive story that they were using to stir up hate and division around things like crime was this really sad story out of Charlotte, North Carolina, where last month a Ukrainian refugee named Irina Zarutska was riding Charlotte light rail when she was attacked from behind, unprovoked, by a guy named DeCarlos Brown, 34 years old, a ton of prior convictions, had done time for armed robbery, has a history of mental illness, and has been charged with first-degree murder. Now, it didn't receive a whole lot of attention initially, but after the closed circuit television footage was released, Republican lawmakers and far-right influencers really pounced on this thing. Trump used her death as an excuse to justify expanding his National Guard deployments to other cities, arguing that, Democratic leaders like the, elected in Charlotte, for example, cannot manage crime effectively. He repeatedly referenced this attack on social media, calling the suspect a career criminal and blaming Democrats for failing to enforce the law. Kurt, is this you? I think it's Kurt's turn. Kurt, thoughts on this? Sad story, but it's like random crime, right? I mean, this is not anyone's fault other than this guy, is it?
No, I mean, I don't know the complete story about the guy, but from what I've seen, I'm sure he was under the influence of something, and had some issues, obviously, to commit something like that or to do something like that randomly when there was no provoked instance or situation that happened that that we could tell. So, but hey, it's yeah. I mean, it's a singular event that we want to jump on and make a huge thing out of it. And not saying that the loss of a life is not a huge thing, but it's a way of, and I'm trying to be respectful here, but it's just a way. Here's the hypocrisy, okay? We've got Republicans that are in outrage because this Ukrainian was attacked and her life was taken. Yet we support Russia in the war against Ukraine. Does that have any correlation with each other? Well, I don't know, but that's as absurd, a comparison is what I think making, this a headline. We don't talk about singular attacks on people unless it has something to do with a black man or an immigrant. Those stories seem to get put to the forefront. We don't talk about trans getting attacked and stabbed and murdered. We don't talk about black people who are unnecessarily attacked or beaten. And I'm not saying that it's not reported. It is, but not like this is. So, you can't, can you call it propaganda? Can you call it propaganda news? I mean, no, it's the death of an individual that didn't deserve to die. Nobody deserves to be murdered, but my God, I mean, seriously, this is where,
And Chris, I see you want to speak up here. No amount of police or National Guard would have prevented this.
No, but at the same time, it is still based on policy. This man was convicted 14 times and still was on the streets. He was convicted of kidnapping a 9-year-old girl, of domestic violence, of DWI, aggravated harassment. This wasn't a guy who should have been on the streets to begin with. And he was convicted 14 times before that. And our legal system allowed him to be on the streets and to do that. If you watch that video and you listen to the footage from the train, he gets up, he It's completely unprovoked. She's sitting there
Mhm.
reading a book or on her phone, stabs her as he's walking away, dripping in blood. First of all, nobody on the train said anything. Second of all, he goes, "I got that white bitch." If that were a white man who stabbed a black woman and he said, "I got that black bitch," you would have better believe that would have been everywhere. Every single major media outlet would have been reporting that. And
I disagree. I disagree.
but I just
I disagree.
the point you
But I'm
made.
glad to hear you say that a felon and a convicted, a felon and a convicted individual shouldn't be on the streets. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A person who was
Convicted felon and
girl who was committed of domestic violence.
so
nothing to do with
someone
Trump's
has
president.
34 felony convictions and convicted of sexually assaulting a woman and rape. Should they be on the streets?
Yeah, she wasn't convicted. He
Not-
was held liable in a civil
not
court.
rela-
It was
not-
criminal
not related to
conviction, so
this
we don't have to
one,
go back to
but-
that. And these aren't related
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form because
No, but I'm just saying, if that's your belief, should that not be across the board, or is it just
Yes, both
singular?
these guys
across
should
the
be
board, but
absolutely.
the crime that we're talking about is very different here. So you can't equate one to another. Donald Trump didn't willfully go on a train and stab someone to death for no reason. Okay?
But he sexually assaulted a woman.
That criminal court did not find him guilty for that. He was
Absolutely, they did. They
not
absolutely
a
did.
criminal court. It was a civil court who found him liable.
Again, yeah, Kurt, like, Trump is irrelevant here as far as his crimes here, but I
The
do think
story.
the story is relevant in the way that it is exploited by people like
Mhm.
Trump to forward their agenda elsewhere.